The NFL draft is now inside a week away, and I will not be here next week. So this is my last opportunity to talk about the Saints draft, and I want to address a few topics as we get closer to the round one selection. The first thing that I would like the Saints to do is not trade up. That's number one on my list. Please don't move up. You need all your picks. So if you want to trade back, awesome. I'm not asking for that. I would like it. I'm not going to ask for it. But make your pick or trade back. Don't move up. That's number one. And then number two is, what player are you going to take? And I have my thoughts. I've got a wish list, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll include in that wish list my projection for the Saints pick. But I will rank them in order 1, 2, 3, 4 of the players that I would love the Saints to take. And I understand that a couple of these, one specifically, is really ambitious. But I can be ambitious. I mean, the Saints should be ambitious at 9 with a player they could potentially get. And if that player comes off the board, you just go to the next. So I'm not trying to be delusional to suggest that my first pick here is certainly going to be there at 9. You better take him. I don't think he will be, but it's my dream scenario. I think everyone should have a dream scenario for their college, and sometimes that college says, I don't think so. You go to the next one on the list, and that's kind of where we are here. My number one pick for the Saints to take is Mason Graham. I've made this point multiple times. I think he is a wonderful player. I think he's a wonderful fit. I think what he does, the Saints lack. That is play the run in the interior of the defensive line. I think Bryan Bresee was a very good draft pick for the Saints. I think he has a lot of productive years ahead of him in the NFL, but he's a better pass rusher than he is holding the point of attack and making plays at the line of scrimmage against the run. Mason Graham is a space eater. He is a gap plugger. He is a monster in the middle, and the Saints need that. And I think if you pair him with Bryan Bresee for the next 3-4 years, hopefully longer, you could really have a strong interior defensive line. I think that's very, very important. I like Graham's story, former 3-star recruit. Michigan saw him. They developed him. He stuck it out. He became a star, won a national championship, and now he's probably going to be a top 5 pick in this NFL draft, which means the Saints will not be able to get him. But if he's there at 9, I think that's a dream scenario for New Orleans. The second one is going to make people in this part of the world a little bit cranky. And let me be very clear. I thought Will Campbell was brilliant at LSU, and I don't think that his arm length is a huge detriment to his game. But Armond Membou, to me, really looks like a great prospect out of Missouri. And I think he is going to be there when the Saints pick. And I'm very much okay with the Saints making that selection and for him to be a plug-and-play left guard. You feel like left tackle's taken care of. You know that center is in a really good spot. You're there at right guard, whether you like it or not. You may tell me that you think that Cesar Ruiz is a really good player. You may say he's an average player. You may say he's a below average player. He's going to be your right guard. And then you got Penning, who is going to play his last year as a Saint this year. And ideally, you draft this player to play left guard and then potentially move him out to right tackle, or he beats Trevor Penning out at right tackle, and you plug a guard in there at some point. I like Membou as a prospect. I don't have any problem with Will Campbell at all, and I'm not trying to be controversial down here in South Louisiana, but that's number 2 on my list. I think he's got a chance to be a really good player. I like him as a prospect. Number 3 on my list is Jalen Walker. Jalen Walker is an outside linebacker, pass rusher at Georgia, and he doesn't fit the profile that the Saints have often drafted. He's not 6'5". He's not 6'6". He's not of that mold. He's not of the Cam Jordan, Marcus Davenport, Isaiah Foskey mold. He's a little bit undersized, but he is a speed merchant off the edge and has the upside of being a nightmare off the edge. I think the body composition is probably a little bit closer to somebody like Von Miller, who doesn't have like the super long limbs but he's been a good SEC pass rusher. And that's not all he can do. He can play a little bit in space. I love his athleticism. I love his speed. And I love the fact that he's a little bit of a different wrinkle from what the Saints have gone with. And they're bringing in a different defense that is going to put more linebackers on the field. You need help at linebacker. you need a guy that can rush the passer off the edge and play a little bit in space. I think Jalen Walker is a great fit. And what I'm thinking is that there's not really anybody on the Saints roster that fits that mold right now. So we still haven't seen Brandon Staley's defense in practice in New Orleans, but I'm not certain what that spot looks like, and maybe Walker immediately comes in and makes it work. I like that pick. I like that fit. He's number 3 on my wish list. Number 4 on my wish list is Will Johnson, cornerback, Michigan. Length, ball skills, production, high level in college, great program. I like a lot of things about the Michigan guys that have come out, and I think Will Johnson's got a chance to be a star. You at one point had a defensive back room that looked really deep and stocked for the future. And then you traded Marshawn Lattimore, and then Paulson Adebo got hurt, and now he's signed elsewhere. And you're looking up and you're going, okay, I got Alontae Taylor. Okay, that's good. I got Kool-Aid McKinstry. We'll see. Like, that's young and kind of unproven. I'd like to stock those shelves more. It's a passing league. You got Baker Mayfield slinging it around. Maybe Michael Penix is really good. Who knows what Bryce Young's going to do. But if you're going to win at a high level, you got to cover somebody. And what went from a real strength of the Saints organization 12 months ago is no longer that big strength. And Will Johnson is a great fit for what the Saints need to do. So that's my 1, 2, 3, 4 in order of priority. Mason Graham, Armond Membou, Jalen Walker, Will Johnson. Now, who do I believe the Saints are going to select with that pick? This goes off my list, on my list, my projection of what I think the Saints do. I think the Saints take Will Johnson, cornerback, Michigan. That's where I think the Saints are headed here. But there are 3 guys that I would like more than that. I'm not telling you can't take a quarterback. It sounds like they've cooled on Shedeur Sanders based on some reporting. Jeff Duncan said that. Could be a smokescreen. At this point, I'm not really believing anything anybody has to say about the draft because there's 7 days left and it's negotiation time, it's leverage time, it's smokescreens time, it's sources time, it's leaking information time, all that. You can take a quarterback if you're convicted in him. I'm not convicted in the quarterbacks in this draft. I'm trying to plug holes with this draft. So for me, those are my 4. I think the Saints end up selecting Will Johnson, corner from Michigan. We'll just have to see. All right, Jordan, you've heard me give my spiel. I know that you think that the Saints have a ton of holes to fill. Do any of those sound attractive to you?
Oh, Will Johnson, without a doubt. We're at this point, the secondary is thinned out compared to what it was a couple years back when you had like C.J. Gardner-Johnson.
Yeah. Dennis Allen, for all his faults, he could draft them and develop corners. They were pretty good at corner while he was there.
Yeah, DB. I'll just say DB in general. Like safety, well, Marcus May was a miss, but that's a whole nother story. But, yeah, definitely Will Johnson. Again, like I said, if some type of tackle fail, i.e. Will Campbell.
I'm
okay with this guy too. But I just feel like so as we get closer and closer, I'm turned off by quarterback, of course. I'm just like, we just have to find a way to just fill a couple of these holes. Again, we're going to be terrible next year anyway.
You need 4 starters out of this draft. You need
without a doubt.
4 starters. That's doable. It's hard, but it's doable.
4 starters, and the 5th guy needs to be, we can work with him. It needs to be one of those guys. Like, you cannot have Isaiah Foskey this year.
Yeah.
You can't have that. You can't have a Peyton Turner this year.
Marcus Davenport.
You can't have that. So don't even talk about Davenport.
Stanley Jean-Baptiste.
Yeah, no, like you said, no trading up, so we ain't got to worry about a Davenport. But you just cannot miss.
Can't whiff. Gotta restock the shelves. That's my story. I'm sticking to it for the NFL draft. Saints on the clock 9th as of right now on Thursday coming up. Hey, it's on. Thanks for watching Hunt on Saints. Before you leave, help us out a little bit. Hit that like button, leave your comments in the section below, and hit that subscribe button so you get all our content right here from Hunt on Saints. We'll see you next time.